Welcome, amazing watercolor artists. I am artist Lisa Christensen, and I created the Watercolor Cards channel to teach creativity. That creativity is a process, and the more that you share your creativity, the more it expands for you. So in this video, I am sharing how to paint this lovely lake or river scene with trees in the background, with the sun setting. It's like the perfect summer, fall-ish time. And then you're going to see how I kind of glaze over and make sunshine. And it's just going to be a great time. So come along with me and let's get our brushes wet and our paint on some paper. All right, to start, you want 140-pound paper, some round brushes, and some watercolor. I'm using burnt sienna, Hansa yellow, and Deft Blue. I did not actually use any green. And I'm just putting them on my palette. This is a very fall color palette, so if other paints mingle, I'm okay with that. Just so you know, the paper is 140-pound watercolor. All right, to get started, I'm just going to use a brush to get my paper wet. And what I want to do is just get the whole, like, I just want it to be kind of a wet into wet wash. And so I'm just adding water onto the paper, getting the paper moist. It's not super wet, but it's not dry. It's just a nice little sheen of water. And now I wanted to paint the sky, and I'm painting the sky yellow to start with because I want like that golden afternoon, almost sunset sort of feel. And then I'm going to go in and I'm going to add some blue. And yes, I don't tape down my paper. I know a lot of people do, and I know a lot of people probably cringe when they see what I do, but I find taping down my paper to be actually really distracting for me, especially when I just want to, I don't usually paint in flat washes, so I don't ever need to get my paper taped down. And as you can see, I'm adding texture to the water and to the sky because I like texture in my paintings. Now I'm just taking some water, the pigment off of my page. That's going to cause like the little waves in the water. I'm going to let that dry. Once it's dry, so I came back after, I don't know, an hour, 10 minutes, I don't know, like 30 minutes probably. Now I can get kind of the background of my painting, and so I wanted a greenish, bluish background, and I'm just going to let the paint kind of do its thing. I'm going to actually let it run into the sky as if it was a background that you saw further away in the distance. Once I like that soft edge, I'm going to go back in with some darker blue and add that for like maybe my foreground. And I'm just going to let it kind of do its thing. I'm also adding this Deft Blue, which is really pretty. It's like an ultramarine, but I think it has some Payne's gray into it. I just really like it for fall water. I'm just going to add some paint and then soften the edges. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just adding some paint. I'm not thinking about it too hard, and then I'm going to soften the edge with just clean water. And that's how I get water. That's also how I use my skies too. And I take my time, and now I am getting this blue-green mixture because I want to be able to get some like cliffs or some hills in the background. This is just painting by memory, so whatever I feel like doing is what I do. There's no rhyme or reason to it, other than I'm trying to use good composition. Alright, moving on to the grass, I am using burnt sienna with Deft Blue. Burnt sienna has some yellow in it already, so I really didn't need to add a whole lot of yellow to it. And I'm just kind of using my brush and I'm flicking up. You can kind of see that motion, and I just keep layering the grass until I see what I want. Some is a bit more bluer, some is a bit more brown, some is a bit more just neutral green, but I wanted to get all those yummy, delicious colors on into the foreground. And now I'm just adding like the little seed things that you see at the top of the grass, the seed pods. I don't know what they're called. That's what I'm calling them. And then moving on to the sky, I'm taking that beautiful Hansa yellow and I'm just kind of like outlining where I want the sun to be. It looks very kindergarten-ish, like very watercolor beginner, and that's kind of the point of it. It does blend in well to the background and as soon as you see. And I'm just adding yellow really on top of what is already there, and I'm just going to soften that edge so it doesn't actually look like a whole lot of sun is just, you know, it's gonna look, I want to marry it, so I wanted to soften that edge. And now I'm going to kind of dry and speed up that process just so I don't have to wait too long. I didn't want to mess with waiting. And now it's going to be time to work on my trees. And so I like to paint pine trees pretty simply. I just kind of start at the top, and then I just make little lines, and I make little like line triangles. Like in my mind, I'm seeing a triangle, and I'm just filling that in with some lines. And so I make my trees, towards the front it's going to be darker, towards the back it's going to be a little bit lighter because it's backlit by the sun. And then I'm just going to darken up that foundation that the trees are on, the ground that the trees are on. And I just keep doing that same process of putting lines in a triangle, and then I'll add some behind the scene pine trees, and in the forefront it's just kind of easy and fun, and there's no wrong way, but just practice your pine trees. And now this is where I get a little bit messy. I decided I wanted to splatter, but I clearly don't want splatter in my sun, and so I had to clean that up and then clean up some of the water, which is okay. Alright, we're going to move on to the left side of the pine trees, and I'm just doing the same sort of thing that I did on the other side. Dab a little bit, make it into a triangle, and then you just kind of go with it. It's so fun. This comes from my memory, so I'm not using a reference photo. I'm not using, I'm just using my memories of being at the lake in my hometown. And that's kind of fun. And I like the atmospheric look that I'm getting. And now I want to just to paint some, the essence of the trees back in the background, right? They don't have to be, I don't have to paint the whole shape. I can just paint like a block of those shapes. And then I added too much pigment, so I'm just taking away some of that. And now my other side looks a little bit flat. So in just a second, you're going to see me mess with that. And I am adding just a little bit more details to the trees up on that side, and just making it a little bit more fuller. Now I don't love that the two sides were kind of just stuck together, so I'm going to clean that up by adding a little bit more of a cliff. So I thought, maybe we'll start right there, and then I just added a way to make it look like they were either on a cliff or something, and that works. Makes for an easy fix, so it looks more dramatic. Alright, and then moving on, we're going to go into the sun. This is raw sienna, and it's just raw sienna, but I really wanted the golden sun, the warmth of the golden sun. And now I'm just adding some water. I just want the water to kind of blend into the yellow. And I did add a little tad bit of water to the almost dry green, so that way it looks a little less perfect. It looks like it's blending into the background like it should. And I added a little bit of yellow to the top, the burnt sienna to the top, and now I'm just kind of giving it some of that texture that I really am looking for. And you'll see that I'll splatter, and then I'm going to add some just clean water, and that's what I'm doing here. And I'm just moving that pigment onto the paper. And now I'm going to take a tiny little bit of yellow, just a tiny bit will do ya, and just to give that yellow more, that sun, just a little bit more glow. But there we go, and I think we're about done. The grass is drying, and I can add a little bit more details to the grass, which I just take a fine script liner and add grass details. I am finishing up, and I'm just adding some more of that brown, that beautiful brown, into the foreground so that it can really just pop. I'm going to add some more texture and really just get the grass from the wetlands to just kind of shine. If you found this video to be helpful, or you'd like to have more videos like this, I'd love to hear your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Do you paint a lot of paintings in triads? And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel. I produce content every Thursday, and I believe that everyone can watercolor and that everyone has a right to paint and enjoy creativity.